Well, here is the delegate count so far. So ahead of Wisconsin's 42 available GOP ones, if Trump wins Wisconsin, he needs only 51% of the remaining delegates to nab the nomination. If he loses Wisconsin, he will need 56% more. My next guest says he thinks Trump will get to that magic 1,237. Arizona State Treasurer Jeff Dewit is with me now. Jeff, welcome. We are glad to have you here. You have endorsed Donald Trump. I want to start with a fiscal question because as State Treasurer, what do you think of his national debt elimination plan?
Well, you know, one of the first things we'll have to do is to teach Washington to be tighter with their belts and get rid of the free spending ways. And so don't forget that it's not just going to rely on who the president is to fix that, but we're going to need to change some hearts and minds and spending methods in Washington in general to change it.
But the president sets the tone.
Absolutely. And Donald Trump is the only person out there saying that he's going to do it and has a reasonable plan to get it done. So, again, can we wipe out $19 trillion in 8 years remains really to be seen.
Well, Jeff, that's what I was going to ask you because a lot of economists are saying, point blank, kudos to him for bringing it up and talking about it. The flip side is $19 trillion cut in 8 years is a very ambitious target.
Well, it's always nice to have good goals. Let's say we only cut it in half. We're still in a lot better shape because if any other candidate wins, it will be 50 to 100% higher at the end of their 8 terms. So even if we have it at 50% lower in 8 years, we've done a mountain of good for the citizens of our country.
Even compared to other candidates, or as Karl Rove has referred to, the fresh face of the House Speaker, Paul Ryan, who I just, for clarity's sake, want to say he has very clearly pushed back and said, other people keep bringing my name into the conversation, get my name out of it.
Yeah, and as has been said, if they were to parachute in a Paul Ryan or anybody else, it would do so much damage to the Republican Party in general, and we would be sure to lose this fall. So at this point, we have to choose from the available pool. And the available pool, the only people that can actually get the delegates right now are either Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. But Ted Cruz is likely mathematically eliminated within a few weeks. And so I think the conversation here within a month will just revolve around Donald Trump, and we'll get it done. But he does have a good plan to get it done, and we can make a dent. And quite frankly, somebody's got to do it. It is the hardest thing, as I know as state treasurer, to get politicians to stop spending money freely is one of the hardest sells you'll ever make. But somebody has to do it, and I'm so appreciative that we have Donald Trump out there bringing attention to it and with a plan to get it done.
Jeff, on that point, you are certainly not alone. There are so many people who say that their children and their grandchildren are really going to be saddled with this debt, and it's going to be even harder for them, put sort of a cinder block around their necks for the economy. Since you're bringing up delegates, though, there are people who say that Senator Cruz is ahead of Donald Trump in the ground game. So not the delegate count, not the popular vote, but that is to say behind the scenes. And Donald Trump has even said in the past, Senator Cruz is stealing delegates. We actually spoke with Dr. Carson, whom you know supports Donald Trump. Are you seeing or hearing anything about that in Arizona?
Absolutely. It is 100% correct. And quite frankly, I'm really disappointed in the way the Cruz campaign is conducting itself. I've been working the ground game here very hard for Donald Trump to get our delegates done. You know, we do the national selection on April 30th, but right now we're selecting all the state delegates to choose the national delegates. And yeah, the Cruz campaign is really turning into a campaign of misinformation. And to see the way they conduct themselves, it's really not going to be beneficial to the party.
Jeff, is Donald Trump then in delegate danger? I mean, I've heard that Cruz might be as many as a few months ahead of him in that way.
No, I don't think that's a correct way to assess it. You know, we have a very good game going. We have our heads down. We're working very hard, and we're going to get it done. So I think that Ted Cruz is probably putting more money into it. Ted Cruz has to pay people to do his delegate game work. We have an army of volunteers, and so you might not see the same campaign expenditures on it, but we have a whole bunch of people that are absolutely
But, Jeff, do you get what you pay for?
No, I don't think so. If you know how hard these grassroots conservative volunteers work, they're worth any price you would pay them, but they'll do it for free because they love their country. So, no, we have a great team of people that are doing very good work here in Arizona on the delegate game.
Jeff, we're so glad. Thank you for joining us. Jeff Dewit with me there. Arizona State Treasurer